Hi guys, it's always wonderful to hear a Tory MP give advice to poor people. Lee Anderson became infamous when he tried to convince the public they could live on a meal for 30p and then criticised the poor for being poor after that. Here is another example. Stephen Hammond MP actually appearing on Lee Anderson's GB News show to talk about obesity and how to fight it. But like other Conservatives, the onus is always on the public, not the government. Have a listen to this tripe, no pun intended.
Obesity is a major crisis. George Osborne put a tax on sugar drinks, and that forced the manufacturers to think about what they're doing. Actually, the right way to do this is to work with the manufacturers to reformulate, to take down salt, to take down sugar, to put more cereal in cereal products. And it's also the right way to teach people, actually, that processed food, or going to McDonald's, is about as expensive a way of eating a meal as you can. You and I know that if I went into Lidl tonight and bought a 5% fat piece of steak mince, plus a can of tomatoes and a vegetable, you could make a much healthier, fulfilling meal for, I suspect, half the price of buying 3 or 4 pizzas.
That's a good point.
Okay. Well, first of all, he talked about how, well, we should work with businesses, work with industry to bring down the salt levels. No, you have to force that upon them. There's no working with them. You have to say, this is what you have to do. We saw it with the European Union when it came to jam. The European Union said, you need to increase the fruit content in jam. You need to reduce the amount of sugar in jam. There wasn't a consultation with businesses to say, well, let's say give and take a bit. No, the European Union said, this is how it's going to be. That's how the government should act. Now, but of course, that's not the real point here. The real point is the onus is always on the public. Yes, this is what people should be doing. They shouldn't be going to McDonald's. Most families don't really go to McDonald's. Maybe it's a treat once a week or once a month, maybe. It's not every day people are going to McDonald's to feed their families. And this idea that, well, you just go into Lidl, you get some meat, you get some vegetables, tomato sauce. Well, what are you going to eat that with? You need pasta as well, I presume. He left out the pasta. But you also have to cook it. You need time to prepare it, and you have to cook it, and that's a cost. And for many people at the moment, they're trying to cut back on energy bills, be it gas or electricity. So they're avoiding cooking things. They're getting something that's already cooked that can be stuck in the microwave, or they're getting stuff that doesn't need to be cooked at all because they can't afford it. Like, once again, this disconnect. But also, as I said before, the focus is on the public. The public need to do something. Why are people struggling to feed their families? Because of a cost of living crisis. What is the government doing to help people? Sweet FA. Like, there should be a social safety net. It shouldn't be a situation where people have to avoid cooking food because they can't afford to switch on the cooker. It can't be a situation where people are relying on highly processed, pre-cooked meals because they don't have the time to cook. The situation is not the same as it was in the 1970s or the 1980s. People are working more. People are traveling more to get to their place of work. They don't have the time. And even if they do have the time, in many cases, they don't have the money available to cook these meals. Just this disconnect from the Tories. Once again, it's always about, well, the public need to do something, not us. We're in government. We're the ones in charge, but we shouldn't be actually helping people. It's not our fault that people are poor. It's not our fault that we have imposed 13 years of austerity, cut public services, made people who are on benefits worse off instead of better off. And it's not our fault, it's their fault. And if they're hungry, well, they should go to Lidl and shop around. Ridiculous. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.